Good evening, everybody. Welcome to What He Said with Kevin Walker. Of course, I am Kevin, giving me your time, even though you ain't giving me your dime. I don't know, like something going on with my throat. So I'm drinking this quality beverage that we call water. See if I can't clear it up. Look, we got some good topics we're going to talk about tonight. The ladies ain't here. They'll be here, but they're not here right now. So Top Cat is on fucking vacation in the Bahamas. Really? So you go on vacation and slight your obligation to doing the show. Who does that? Really? You would rather take a vacation and go hang and chill in the Bahamas than to be here on the show with me tonight. Okay. It's all good. I ain't tripping. It is what it is. You know, if she want to do that to me, I'm cool with it. So that's the deal for tonight. Sonya says she's still working. So it is what it is. I'm here by myself. But that's cool. We got two good topics that we're going to touch on off the muscle. We're going to talk about being a contradiction, and we're going to talk about communication. Because being a contradiction to themselves is something that us as men sometimes accuse women of. Being a non-communicator is something that women place on the back of us men. They say we don't communicate. We don't talk about what's wrong. We don't speak on the issue. We let it fester. So let me give you an example first and foremost of how we are all contradictions of the truth. We are all contradictions of ourselves. Think about this. Male and female, how often have you heard people saying, he ain't loyal, she ain't loyal. If you gonna be my friend, be my friend. I don't want nobody in my circle that ain't loyal. How often do we say that? Because we all like loyalty. So that's what we preach, loyalty. But at the same time, how often do you hear those same people saying, nobody don't owe you nothing? Nobody ain't got to give you nothing. Nobody ain't got to do nothing for you. So when people do things for you, you should appreciate it, because that was my mom's message. So if no one owes you anything, why is it that we expect people to be loyal? No, we just said nobody owe us anything. But in that same breath and in that same voice, we said people ain't loyal. So which one is it? Which one do we truly believe? So that's the contradiction. How we contradict ourselves day to day, just in casual conversation and casual situations. We contradict ourselves with what we say so often. So let's talk about some obvious contradictions that we do, starting with relationships. Because we can ask for so many things in a relationship. Hey, look, I need a foundation. I need he or she to be stable. You know, they got to have a job. Some people require or request, hey, I don't want to date anybody with any young kids. But if you believe in God, and if you can say, God has never wronged me, God has always been there for me, even when I fell short of the glory, God picked me up and carried me through the finish line. How can you turn away something that God has placed in your path? Like I'm confused. I'm truly confused. If God put it in your path and you say you're a believer, because here's what I always say: if we're gonna believe God with the good, we gotta accept God with the bad, because the bad has a place in our lives to kind of bring us back down to earth sometimes. Things happen to us for a reason and for a purpose. We might not see it or feel it in the moment. We might not even understand it in the moment. We might not ever understand it. But if we say we believe in God and we trust God, because everybody wants where it says it the most, in God we trust, everybody wants that money. Everybody willing to do whatever it takes to get that money. So if you truly trust in God, hey man, if you trust him with the good, you got to trust him with the bad. And that he's going to be there. He's going to be a way out of no way. And that's something my grandmother used to always say: he's a way maker. And just every day that I'm able to wake up and take a breath on this earth, man, and continue to breathe life and live and enjoy, I learned, man, that it ain't because of me that I'm still here. It ain't because of me that I have the things I have. It's because a higher being is looking down and guiding me. And I believe that. So if you don't, that's cool. But let's stop contradicting ourselves, even with our biblical beliefs. Let's stop contradicting ourselves. Communication. Women say we don't communicate. I don't think you can put that jacket on every man. And what I've tried to do personally for myself, even accepting counseling and saying, hey man, look, I want to make me a better me. I want to be a better man than I was at 50, at 55. I want to be better, because you should grow with age. You shouldn't just acquire knowledge and not put it to use. It's almost like having a Bentley in your driveway or in your garage and not being able to drive it because you don't have gas. Like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of you not growing as a person? I'm sorry. What's the purpose of you acquiring knowledge and not putting it to use, not becoming a better you? What's the purpose of that? It serves no purpose whatsoever. So I've personally tried to, when it mattered in situations, sit people down and say, hey, look, in the simplest of ways I know how, I fuck with you. I hope you fuck with me. I hope we can get through whatever we going through. If we can't, we can't. But for me personally, here's what I'm going to need. And if you can't supply that, if that man can't meet your needs, lady, if that lady can't meet your needs, man, hey man, look, somebody in that situation has got to be the bigger and better somebody and say, hey man, maybe we just need to kind of chill. You go your way, I'm gonna go mine. Let's still be grown at the same time. I ain't mad at you, you ain't mad at me. But I want to be a communicator and let you know where I am so that you don't feel like I didn't give you the ample conversation or the ample amount enough time to make those changes appropriately. See, in the 20s, when we don't know no better, supposedly, be like, hey man, I don't give a rat's ass if she like it, don't like it. Like, hey man, boom, I'm out of here. Deuces. Same thing in the 30s. When you get to the 40s and 50s, say, man, That clock ticking. That clock running out. You're not finna have a whole lot of more choices and decisions to make. So what you've got to do is be a little more pickier in your choices. Communication. Hey, look, here's what I got a problem with. Here's where I feel like we're missing the boat in the relationship. Here's where I feel like we're two negatives bumping heads, because two negatives ain't gonna never connect. You got to have a negative and a positive for it to come together. Simple science. So when you got two positives or two negatives, they're not gonna come together, guys. So we've got to make sure that we're being open. Number one, be open. And when you're being open, let me touch on this. When you're being open, you have to also understand that when you open up Pandora's box, be careful, because you never know what might walk back through it at you. So be prepared for that. Be open-minded. Be open-minded enough to not only receive, but to respond. So fellas, when I say respond, I don't mean you necessarily even have to respond with a comment in the moment. That's where you lose people. That's where you miss out with the conversation. Because the minute I say, man, look, I have a problem with the clock on the wall and the way the hand turned, and soon as that person say back, well, I ain't been saying nothing, but I got a problem with the clock in the room and the way you said it and the way. See, now you're not hearing me. What you're doing is receiving the information, rebuking it, and now it's turning into an argument more so than corrective behavior for each other to make each other better and pleasant and happier in the situation that we're in together. So somebody asked me a question earlier today. My man Mike. He said, Kev, should you love the female more, or should the female love you more? Great question. Great question. A couple of people that was on the line with us responded, two women, that the women should love more than the man. Should be the harder love than the man. So once we got off the line, me and him talked about it and examined the situation, examined his question, and my response to him was, I'm gonna love her harder than she loves me, because what I want to do is always, as the alpha male, and I'm not trying to be an alpha, but I get that title, I want to show her through my actions how to love me. Now, because women are emotional beings, all that woman's going to truly know how to do is follow suit. Once she see how you turn the world upside down for her, she's going to make sure you're stable. She's going to create an environment around you to be stable. She's going to plant your feet on solid ground so that you're stable. That's what a helpmeet is. That's where a helpmeet comes into play. So as a man, Even in situations of love, I want to lead in the moment. I want to show you from day to day how to love me. And not by showing you or pointing to what I want and what I need. I'm going to lead with my love towards and for you. To make you want to love me back. To make you want to feel like you can love me more. Because once you garner, y'all take this in. Once you garner, fellas, a hedge of protection and a woman feel secure with you, once you've created that wall of protection, sky's the limit, I promise. Sky's the limit. Ain't nothing she won't do if she feels safe. If a woman feels safe and protected by you, ain't nothing she won't do. Nothing she won't build or help you build when it comes to the relationship. So speaking of relationships, see how I stay on task when I'm by myself? This is topic number 2. Speaking of relationships, let's talk about lies in relationships. Why do people cheat? Why are people still, after 10, 15, 20, 25 years of marriage, why do Uncle Bobo still go around the corner and stop by Miss Mabel's house after him and Annie been married 30 years? What is Miss Mabel doing around the corner that ain't Cuddy Buddy ain't doing at the crib? Who's to blame? Does there need to be a blame? The fact that I'm talking about this and can discuss this with you, in lies the problem. Lies in relationships. That's what this next 13 minutes is going to be about, lies in relationships. Let's start with don't be a damn liar 101. Let's start there. Here's what you don't do when you're in a relationship and you decide to take on an outside interest. Hey man, keep your people, keep your friends, keep your kinfolks out your damn business. Don't put me, don't put Shirley Ann, don't put Larry Little in the mix. You decided to cheat on your spouse, male or female. You decided to step out of your marriage. And what's crazy is that people expect for you to maintain a level of respect for the wife or for the husband when they cheating on them. Y'all make that shit make sense. So you cheating on your wife, you treating her like crap, but you want your homeboys to respect her. You don't respect her. Hello, Light. You cheating on your husband with a nigga at work who tell you you look cute in them jeans when you walk in the office. Girl, I know you ain't had your hair like that yesterday, did you? I didn't notice your hair was like that yesterday. So you're that fragile as a female that a simple as you look cute today can cause you to erupt sexually. But you get mad at your homegirls for saying, fuck that nigga about your man. I'm confused on how you think that your friends should maintain a level of respect for your significant other when you don't have no respect for your significant other. Please make me understand. Lies in relationships, 101. I don't want to know you smashing Sonya and I'm cool with your wife. That put me in a pickle. That put me in a pickle. Because if the shit ever hit the fan, and I've been knowing Sonya, and you've been knowing, and she been knowing, and we been knowing, guess who gets tossed under the bus in the end? Guess who the wife mad at in the end? I don't want to know, homie, homegirl, Maggie, that you got a new boo who you claim to love so much and care about, but you finna go out of town to your old high school sweetheart and let him beat it up for the weekend. So what we doing? We 40s and 50s. We 40s and 50s. We are 40s and 50s. And still, so many women who I know that I'm cool with, and now I ain't calling no names, but so many I know that I'm cool with run around here acting like they in their teens and 20s, like they still bopping. They running, looking out the window when they hear the music coming down the street. Y'all know how they used to do. Don't act like that. They hear the loud music in the distance. They run, look out the window to see who it is. So y'all don't know them people. Y'all don't know them girls. Yeah, I do. So Kim said, why cheat at all? Daryl McClinton said, you have more time behind you than in front of you. And Daryl also said, true statement. So let's go to the why cheat at all, since it was brought up in the comments. That wasn't where I was going next. I'm still stuck on keep your friends, keep the people around you out of your business. When you decide to do dirt on your own. Don't pull nobody else into your bullshit. So why cheat at all? So I had somebody once tell me, Kev, do you eat hot dogs every day? I was like, no, why would I eat hot dogs every day? Like, I would get tired of that. Exactly. So until you've been married 20 years, come back and holler at me. Okay. Sometimes why cheat at all? That should be happening by convenience. Sometimes just because it's there, you don't go out and leave home in the morning saying I'm a cheat today or expecting that you finna cheat on somebody. It happens by convenience. And I'm not giving no man an excuse for what he does. But what I will say is, for us, our, what do they call it? The back forelobe of the brain for a male, and our testosterone automatically forces us to say something when a fine ass woman walk out. Hey, how you doing? How's your day? How you feeling today? You looking good. You looking nice. I like them shoes. Okay, slacks come through. Yeah, I see them little slacks. And some women don't get those compliments nowhere else. So when you start casually complimenting, we talked about that earlier, when you start casually complimenting, that leads to other things. That's called flirting. Flirting leads to an extended conversation. Extended conversations lead to, let's have a drink, let's have some dinner. Let's get to know each other a little better, you know what it is. Let's get to know each other a little better. And if you're like me, and she take you up on that offer, because let's be real. Because when you take, it's kill season. It's kill season. I'm in there. I'm in there like swim well. When you listen to me too long, I got you. But even with me, at 55, I don't require much at all in my latter days now. Peace, and more peace. I just don't want no drama. I don't want to be a part of no drama. I don't want to even date nobody who bring drama into their world. Peace. So what's the difference between when a woman compliments a man in that same manner? That's a question that's in the comments. I think she's flirting. And sometimes a compliment is just a compliment. Sometimes I can say, I think sometimes people, because I'll compliment a dude on something. That don't mean I'm trying to smash him. A nigga don't do nothing for me. I'm sorry. So I think sometimes a compliment can just be a compliment. But a compliment can also be a conversation starter. So I had a chick I used to work with. She was picking up something out of the parking lot, and she told me this later. And I didn't even realize it. Show you how naive as a man I am. I didn't even realize it. She was picking up something out of the parking lot, setting me up, because I was gonna walk by. And I said to her, this was a long time ago, guys. And I said to her, all right, girl, don't get pregnant out here. Just joking. Being silly, being me. Just joking. You know me, you know I'm a crack a joke. And she said, get me pregnant then. Again, hey, conversation starter. One thing led to another. We started talking every day. I didn't know her name. She didn't know mine. She had been seeing me. I had been seeing her. We exchanged numbers. After we exchanged numbers, we started, of course, texting. Even at work, started texting each other while she was on one floor at her office. I was on another floor in my office. And hey, one thing led to another. Before long, she was lunch. Yeah. I ain't say we were going to lunch. Said she was lunch. But it all started from a simple flirt, conversation starter. She bending over to pick up something to get my attention. You got it. You got what you was looking for, my attention. But that's how simple sometimes things can be. Lies in relationships. So let's talk about why is it that we stay in situationships or relationships that we should really run from, that we should not be a part of. Because we're afraid to be honest. We're afraid to tell somebody the truth. Ron Love say that was a setup. I would have walked right up, run. I couldn't walk by. She was fine as hell, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I couldn't walk by. I tried. I really didn't say nothing. My dick did. I didn't say nothing. My dick was like, hey, what's your name? Well, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. But why can't we be honest, guys? Why can't we just tell the truth? Why can't we just say what really should be said when we know the situation has become toxic? Why? So you would rather stay in a horrible situation and be miserable day in and day out than to be honest and allow that person to move forward and you move forward. And at the end of the day, if that person is who you thought they were, both of y'all are adults. You should still be able to be friends and be in each other's presence without acting like you're still in high school. You should want, if you really care about somebody, if you really love somebody, you should want that person to be happy. Regardless of if you want them for yourself, you should want them to be happy. Whatever that means for them. I don't know what, it's different, guys. You know that from person to person. Happiness is different from person to person. So what does that look like, Kevin? I don't know. It depends on the person. But what I can tell you is this. Most of us have kids. And the one thing we all agree on, the one thing we all want at the end of the day is for our kids to grow up and move on with their lives. Get out of the house. Get out of the house. We all talk about becoming empty nesters. Get out of the house. Go make a life for yourself. That's why we raised them the way we raised them. Because we want to see them go out into the world and be successful. We want to see them make something of themselves. So we're hard on them at times about things. But we don't treat the people we're sexually active with the same way we treat our kids when it comes to our level of honesty. We just don't. Because if you want what's best for your kids, and you should love them way more than any dude on the street, any female on the street, you should love your kids more. Why don't you admonish that other person the way you admonish your child? Hey, look, this ain't working. I'm not happy. I don't know about you. I appreciate you sitting down with me today just to listen to me, to where I am, because I care about you enough to want to see you be happy. I care about you enough to want to see your life be prosperous, and you can't be the best you if I'm not happy. If we a couple, if we together, but one of us ain't 100% invested, how can we prosper? How can we grow? If you don't water a plant, it's going to wilt and die. The same way with a relationship. If you don't pour into that relationship is going to wilt and die. It's going to suffer. It's going to suffocate because you're not giving it the love it needs. And water is a simple thing. But it's only so long that that plant can sit in the window. It's got to go out and get some rainwater. It's got to go out and be nourished. The same way that relationship has to be nourished. You have to nourish the relationship. You got to feed into each other. If you don't feed into each other, you're in a stagnant situation, meaning there's no movement, there's no growth, there's no us, there's no you and him, there's no we. So Felicia says, because it's a reason you're still there, tolerating the nonsense, some folks sacrifice their happiness for the material things like house, money, etc. I agree, Felicia. I agree. I can raise my hand and say I'm guilty. It wasn't for a house. It wasn't for money. But the etc. would have been my kids. I sacrificed my happiness for years and stayed in a marriage that should have ended way before it did, because I really wanted to be a daddy to my boys. I put my boys' happiness as a man and as a father because I was raised without my dad in the home. And I didn't realize until I was a grown-ass man how that affected me when it came to my maturity, when it came to my growth. When somebody said, hey, go get me a Phillips screwdriver. And I went to the drawer and opened it and couldn't distinguish what was what because I didn't have that man to show me what a Phillips screwdriver was. So I stayed in the situation of a marriage that wasn't the best for me in the moment because I wanted to be a father and a man and stick to my commitment to my boys. So yes, I would agree that we do stay in situations too long sometimes for the wrong reason. What's up, Miss Cat?
What's up? Hey, y'all. Sorry, I'm tardy to the party. So, I have a statement. I'm coming in at the end of the conversation. But what a psychiatrist said to me is when men or women make that statement that they want to be there for their children, is it better to be there for your children in an unhealthy relationship, or is it better for you to just separate the relationship, both of you heal, both of you get healthy, and co-parent that way? So that's
No,
the
I would.
real.
No,
So
go ahead.
that's the real conversation. Like, are you mature enough to co-parent, because when you say, people say they sticking around for the kids, but if your kids hear you arguing all the time, or your kids can tell that you're depressed, or your kids can see that you're unhappy, it's been plenty of times I used to ask my stepmama all the time, because when my daddy went around, she'll be complaining. As I got older, it was like, well, what the hell you still with him for? Like I'm not even your child. Y'all don't have no kids together. Yes, y'all are raising us together and y'all doing stuff for all of us together. But at the end of the day, it's so dysfunctional. Why are y'all still doing it? Like, so I get the whole, 2 incomes and stuff like that. But it's like when you get to the point where you pulling up at the house and you gotta sit in your car for 30 minutes to debrief before you can even walk inside the door, that's crazy to me.
Yes, yes.
But I literally was dating somebody, no complaints in the relationship. They had a 3-year-old, and after a while, it was just like, I don't want to see nobody else raise my kids. I went back home, back to the mother, back to the kid, and like 4 months later, they tried to hit me up, spin the block. Well, no, you made your choice, and I respect you for your choice. Go over there, raise your kids. Like it's no coming back. And like it's been 2 years ago, and this person still reached out to me, and this person is still unhappy, and this person still got the same complaints that they had, and it's just like, but you there with your son, nobody else raising them. So what do you do in situations like that?
Yeah, so I can just talk about myself specifically, and it's funny you say about, so once we got to the point in the relationship, in the marriage, to where it started to get to a situation where it was overflowing, we did move around at that point. But for the longest, hey, it was a mutual understanding, a mutual agreement. You do you, I'm gonna do me. We're gonna do these bills together. We're gonna take care of these boys together. And that's what we did. And like, even right now, 6 years after divorce, I think we're much, much better as friends. And to show you how kids aren't crazy. So my oldest boy came to me one day, like this was maybe 3 years after we were divorced, and he was gone on because I waited until he graduated high school before I left. He was in the Air Force at the time, and he came to me and said, "Daddy, are you happy?" And I was like, "What you mean, son?" He's like, "Are you happy?" I was like, "I'm confused. I don't know what you mean. Am I happy?" He was like, "Are you happy?" It's not a trick question. I was like, "Yes, I'm ecstatic." And he was like, "Yeah, you look like you're a whole lot happier now. You look like you was having the best time of your life." So what I shared that story to say, our kids can sometimes feel the pressure of the change of the barometer in the household. We think we're keeping it all copacetic, but they know there's a difference. There's a difference in the atmosphere. And I blame myself as a man for not setting the temperature in the household, because I control that. I control, Nicole. I can walk in and determine if you finna have a good night or a horrible night. When I walk in that house, depending on how I greet you and how I treat you in that first 5 minutes, I can make your day or break your day in that first 5 minutes. But I wasn't vested or smart enough to understand that I should be keeping the peace, that I should be the. So look, counseling and psychological treatment, I call her my psychological tour guide, has meant so much to me because she's put a lot on my table and forced me to consume it. She was like, "You're a very smart man, but if it takes me forcing this down your throat to nourish you, that's what I'm going to do." And I think it's made me a better me. And I say all the time, the next woman who get me gonna get the best man in the world. She gonna get the best man that any woman could have dreamed she could have ever had.
I lost connection.
No, you still there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still there. You good. So all I would say is, like, honestly, as it relates to the whole honesty and relationship and being real and speaking your piece, and you know, you have to do what works for you. Everything doesn't work for everybody. You have to be the illustrator and the orchestrator of your piece, meaning you have to write your script and then you act it out. Don't let nobody else play your role. You be you. You do you.
Don't let them flip the script either when you write it.
That's true. I agree. So what I touched on earlier, we talked about contradiction and and lack of communication. How in life we contradict ourselves by making certain comments and saying certain things. And I do want to get your thought on it. Sonya was supposed to be here about 8:30 as well, so I thought it'd be great with y'all coming in at the bottom of the hour together. But so we talk about a contradiction, how we say people ain't loyal, but then we also say, well, don't nobody owe me nothing. I know don't nobody owe you nothing. You got to do you and don't worry about what people think and don't worry. But we also say people ain't. So what is it that we want? Do you want people to be loyal? Or do you want to walk with your chest up and chin out and say, hey, look, nobody owe me nothing. I'm going to do me. Which one is it? It can't be both.
I hate when people say, don't have expectations of people. Why not? Why should I not have expectations of you? I mean, if we're honest, that in itself is a contradictory statement. Because at a certain age, we all have expectations of people in some form, shape, form, or fashion. Like if you're 18 years old, I'm expecting you to know certain things throughout this 18 years of you living. So I don't like when people say, oh, I'm dating him, but I don't expect nothing. If you expect nothing, then you're going to receive nothing. Because to me, if you don't have expectations, that means like you don't have a goal. Like if you're just freelance dating and you're not expecting to get married, or you're not expecting to be in a committed monogamous relationship, then that means you are in agreement with whatever happens because you have no expectations. So I definitely understand what you're saying. You say one thing, but then your actions say something else. That's like a man trying to seem player to his partners. He like, oh man, I don't care what she do. But then when y'all get home, he crying in the closet about everything you doing. But that's when y'all at home and y'all amongst each other. But when he go around other people, he make it seem a different way. So I don't know why people do that. That's insane to me, to be honest. And then you're right. People post stuff on Facebook, and you call them on the phone, and they be saying something else. It's like, what? But that's not what you posted. And it's like, what do you believe? But on social media, we can be what we want to be.
You can be who you want to be on social media, man. God.
That's the fake platform. You know what I'm saying? I can cut, I can paste, I can edit, I can Photoshop, I can AI, I can steal posts from other people, I can copy your pictures. Like, it's never ending. But when you meet these people in real life, it's like, where's that car you took a picture with? Oh, that was my grandma's car. What? Where's that house you had in the background? Oh, that wasn't my house. There's the Airbnb. Like, when you get to really like meeting these people in real life and you have real life conversations with them, or you go to their house and you see how they really live in, like, it doesn't match. It doesn't always match up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you do in those situations?
Hey, let people live, let them breathe, let them be what they want to be, let them live that fake lifestyle, how they want to live that fake lifestyle. I could care less. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the one thing I do realize, that Facebook is just that. Facebook is fake book, and you know, people never show you the reality of what's going on in their world or who they really are, and that's fine. Like, you know, I'm not invested in nobody. Like, I never even really, when it come to doing these podcasts, go back and read the comments. I never do, because the same people that'll give you advice or say one thing in the comments, even on the podcast, they live in a total contradiction to themselves in their life. They tell you one thing, like, yeah, if I was you, I would. Boy, shut your ass up. No, you wouldn't.
But wait a minute. Now, it is a, let me see how I can say this right. So say for instance, I'm in a relationship and I'm getting beat up, I'm getting abused, right? I could give the next woman advice and tell her that she needs to leave. And I'm telling her from my experience, because I know I need to leave. Not just because I haven't got the strength or the courage to leave, does that negate me being able to tell her that she should leave? And what I mean is, like, sometimes life experiences equipped us to give advice, and a lot of people do not take the advice that they give. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a perfect example. About 5 years ago, there was a gym, it was called Bally Fitness. And when I went to sign up, it was a lot of buff men with muscles, and they give me this one trainer that looked like he eat hot Cheetos and hot dogs all day long. He didn't look the part. I didn't want him to train me, but guess what? That man trained me. I lost weight and I look good. And you know what that taught me? He knows everything to do.
He just ain't doing it.
He's not applying it.
Yeah, yeah.
So in life, a person can teach you and just not be applying it to themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be a goddamn trainer, Nicole, your ass need to get in some form of shape to be able
Man,
to. I hear you, but I'm just saying, I don't want to go to my barber and his edge up down his forehead touching his eyebrows. Come on now, bro. I'm gonna need you to trim your shit up before I sit in your chair.
a lot of people don't want to do the self work. They don't work on themselves. They don't. Have you ever went to go get your eyes checked and the doctor that's checking your eyes wear glasses? Have, we be messed up. We be messed up. The teachers be messed up sometimes. The
Yeah,
leaders be
yeah.
messed up sometimes. You know, and not for nothing, because I don't know you personally. Like, I've never been to your house. I just know from what you said on this podcast about the fact that you've been divorced, right? But what about the people that know you, that went to high school with you, the people that know your ex-wife, the people that used to come to your house? Some of them people that know you, they might listen to this podcast and think you full of crap. They might be like, man, that nigga wasn't doing that. Them kids didn't say that. His ex-wife wasn't like that. But for those people that don't know, we can draw all kind of conclusions, like, because we don't know you.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I actually had somebody ask me about you, and I was like, I don't know anything about that man. We just on the show together. Like, I never hung out with him. I don't think I ever, like, touched your shoulders in person, like, saw you somewhere and be like, hey, Mr. Walker. You know, but to each his own. People think what they think and they assume what they assume.
Was
At
she
the
cute?
end, huh?
Was she cute?
How you know it was a she?
A nigga better not been asking you a motherfucker. I'm just.
Look, wait. It might have been a nigga trying to make sure you wasn't trying to Dr. Phil his woman.
Oh, okay.
Maybe his old lady was in your comments.
Hey, that's or inbox, because
Oh, that's
I'm not a nigga who throw women under the bus for being in my inbox either. So
mm, No comment.
So what are you doing in the Bahamas? You was on vacation?
Yes. Oh, look at this lady busting the bathroom on me.
No.
I'm having a good time out here. I went and swim with some pigs. I jet
Swim
skied
with
for the first.
pigs?
Like the pigs were swimming, we fed them. I went jet skiing. I went parasailing. I went scuba diving for the first time. That was scary because I don't know how to swim, and I feel like fish piss got in my mouth. But
Fish piss?
for sure,
Okay.
fish piss. But I'm out here having a good time. The people
No,
are
that's good.
fun. Money's
And
good. I'll be
make sure
back next week.
you enjoy yourself. You went by yourself?
Of course. That's another thing. Like we was talking about Facebook. People be in my inbox, they be in my DMs. What's up, what's up, what's up? When it's time to travel, spend them coins, they be wanting that $40. They be wanting that $40
That
coochie at the room around the corner, baby. I'm trying to be in another country on a balcony, on my knees praying.
if that's what you call it.
Praise and worship.
That is true. That is true.
And look, and with the WAP, with the worship and praise, WAP.
Worship and praise. No, enjoy yourself, man. Especially if you're by yourself, though. Be careful at the same time.
Oh
Be
yeah,
careful.
I actually linked up with some nice ladies out here. I got a girl from Dallas and a girl from Florida, so we've been on a buddy system, been hanging out and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Enjoy yourself. When you coming home?
I'll be home Friday.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your week, man. You got a long week.
All right. Well, I'm glad I was able to chime in for a little bit. I
All
want
right.
y'all to see my face.
Thank you for hopping on. Thank you for hopping on. We gotta get together and plan out some things that we had talked about. So
All
we'll
right.
sit down.
I'll hit you on Friday when I get back.
That's cool.
All right. See y'all later.
All right. So on behalf of what he said with Kevin Walker, I am Kevin Walker. Thank y'all for joining me and Miss Nicole Cat Tough Cat tonight. That's gonna be the show for the evening. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.